We're doing a sunset Wahoo mission. I got Aaron in the water and Justin in the water. I'm driving the boat, and hopefully they come up with Wahoo, because what I want out of it is its liver. We've been drifting for a while. Aaron just shot this Wahoo. Yeah, baby. No small Wahoo, and he just gutted it, and what we got out of it is this.
Hey, Will, book it in reverse real quick.
And that is the liver from the Wahoo. So what we're gonna do is cut it up, put it on a skewer, and barbecue it. That was an epic sunset mission. That was really fun. Don't worry, we are gonna do a recipe with the other parts of the Wahoo, but what I was after was this, the liver. Now, it doesn't taste fishy at all. I've done another episode on it that you could check out where I made liver pate using liver from a couple of Wahoo. This one, I might have said on the boat that I was gonna barbecue it, but then I had the idea, let's just do liver and onions, and we're gonna do it with a bourbon sauce. So first things first, let me get my pan going, and I'm gonna sweat down my onion. Now, I don't really want them caramelized. I'm just gonna bring them down a little bit and soften them up. And then while that's happening, we'll prep our liver. So I have my pan on just a medium heat. A little bit of olive oil. And I'm gonna get the onions in there even before it's really up to the heat, because I want them to slowly cook. I don't want to caramelize them. I just want to sweat them. A little caramelization is not bad. But we're going to do everything in this pan without cleaning it. So we're going to get our onions going. And then after they're done, put them on the plate, we'll do our liver, and then we're going to make our bourbon sauce in the pan without ever cleaning it, without ever changing anything. A little bit of sea salt to get the onions going. Now while our onions are cooking down, we're gonna prep our Wahoo liver. Liver and onions was one of those things I can honestly say that I hated as a child, and now it is something that I crave. But that is beautiful. It almost looks like foie gras. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And this is a cut of the fish that is almost never used. So I'm gonna cut it into squares, and we're gonna put it onto skewers. And that'll make it easier flipping in the pan. So now that I have them cut up into cubes, I'm just gonna put a few on skewers. Onions are still going. They'll be done by the time I finish this. That's it. We're just gonna salt and pepper those and throw them in the pan when these come off. All right, my onions are looking good. I don't want them cooked down to where they have no bite left to them whatsoever. I still want a little bit of crunch for texture, because there's not gonna be a lot of texture in our liver. So, these are looking good to me. Beautiful. Now I'm going to bring it up to a medium-high heat because I want to sear my liver. A little more olive oil. And a little bit of sea salt onto our liver. And a little bit of pepper. All right, let's test our pan, see if it's up there. A little more heat, little more heat. We want a real sizzle when it hits the pan because we want to sear that, and we want some of that liver to be left behind. All the brown bits are what are going to make our bourbon sauce absolutely delicious. All right, we got a little bit of smoke on the pan. We're going in. That's the sizzle I wanted. Now while our liver is searing, what we're gonna do is get ready for our pan sauce. And really the only thing you need to chop for that is a little bit of garlic. And chop up some fresh parsley. That's just to top off our dish at the end. Now I'm gonna give these a flip. Nice and seared. Oh, that's gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous. So they've had about a minute on each side. You just want that nice caramelization, that brown crust on them, which we have. I'm gonna let that side go a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Again, liver's mushy, so we want to add a little bit of texture. That's why we didn't bring our onions all the way down, left a little bit of crunch to them, and that's why we're gonna sear this on the outside so the outside gets a little bit crispy. Now, these are finished. We're gonna take them out, turn off our heat, put them aside, and now if you see this pan, it has all that brown liquid in there. That's what we want. I have my heat off. I'm going to add a spoonful of butter. And again, my heat is off on that pan right now. And I add my garlic, a little bit of salt, and some pepper. I can already smell that pepper. That is delicious. And now, with the heat off, I'm gonna add my bourbon. Just about an ounce. Now there's a reason I do this with the heat off. I've done it before in my house, and I've had the heat on. And what would have just happened had that sizzled up like that, that would have caught on fire. Now a lot of people do it that way, and it burns off the alcohol very fast. I got news for you. The alcohol is burning off fast already. And it's a good way to create a fireball in your house. Now that that has sizzled, I'm gonna turn my heat back on. We're gonna go medium low, and we're just gonna cook that down just a little bit until it becomes almost sticky. But again, we don't want to burn everything off and cook it away. We just want to cook it down slow so that we have our sauce. But that is looking and smelling amazing. Anything bourbon glaze on any kind of hearty meat is really, oh, it's out of this world. So now that that has reduced a bit, my garlic is sweated, I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy cream. Now I wanna incorporate that. And we're gonna keep that simmering and reduce this by about half. That's important because we want it to thicken up. We don't want it to just be liquid that we pour over. We want it to actually coat the onions and the liver. All right, we are there. We have our glaze. I'm going to take my liver off of my skewers. And this is so fast that this is still warm. This has not cooled down. And now we're gonna pour our hot glaze on top. Now we top with our fresh chopped parsley just to brighten that dish up a bit, because this is gonna be rich. It's gonna be very, very rich. That is a beautiful thing. All right, now we're gonna dig in. And let me tell you, if you are a liver fan, I would put this up against any cow liver and onions. It's rich, it's meaty. The crunch of the onions is so nice. That bourbon sauce adds a little bit of sweetness. And then that parsley brightens the whole thing up. But that's a winner in my book. Now, we caught about 3-4 wahoo. That's the liver from one wahoo. And that's a nice little dish. So again, a piece of the fish that you would discard, you wouldn't even think of. Just think outside of the box. There's a lot of parts that we throw away that we could use that make delicious, delicious meals. Well, thanks a lot for watching. This was a quick one, but a fun one. And I'll see you on the next one.